Welcome to our 4-H Beyond Ready Inspiring Hearts, Equipping Minds conference. We are excited to have you with us, and we are working to get our all our ducks in a row and make sure that we're all headed in the same direction. And so we're excited to have you with us, and we are looking forward to a great couple of days. It would have been really fun to be at a conference center together so that we'd run into one another in the hallway and we could exchange information that way, but that's not possible. And so we are going to do the next best thing and spend a couple of days together virtually and make the best of it. And we have got some incredible presenters lined up for you. And so we're excited to have you with us. I encourage you to continue dropping into the chat. Those of you who are just joining us, please drop into the chat who you are, where you are, which service you're affiliated with, or if you're extension, which program you're with, so that we know who's in the room with us. We are going to kick things off and get started. I'm Harriet Edwards. I am a professor and extension specialist at North Carolina State University. The accent gives me away as somebody who is native to the South. We are fortunate at NC State to host and administer the SIFAR 4-H Military Partnership Professional Development and Technical Assistance Project. And that gives us an opportunity to work and make sure that our extension partners have the resources and materials to work with our military partners so that we're connecting and helping our military connected families. We are excited about the opportunity that we have to host the virtual conference. It gives us a way to connect with both our military and our extension audiences at the same time. We have over 325 folks registered. Registrations were still coming in this morning, which is perfectly fine. We have over 27 extension programs represented, and so we're excited about the diversity of representation in participating in our national conference. It's a great virtually. It gives us an opportunity to open those doors a little wider. Our event today is largely the work of a small planning team, and that team was led by Vanessa Tranell, who serves as our 4-H Extension Education Specialist in the Office of the Secretary of War. And Vanessa has been absolutely the heavy lifter. She has been at it for 2 months trying to line up our workshops and make sure that our presenters were ready and that our sessions and Zoom rooms were on track and on target. And so we're excited that Vanessa was able to do all of this. And so huge kudos to Vanessa for her work to get us ready for today. She's been supported through a lot of the technology and logistics work by Erica Thomas Pullen. Erica is our SIFAR youth development specialist, and she is kind of the behind the scenes guru making things happen to support the work that Vanessa is doing and making sure that all the wheels are turning in the right direction. We also have had a lot of support from Jenny Jordan, who is our 4-H youth specialist for the Navy. And Jenny not only is going to be presenting a workshop, but she also has been truly instrumental in lining up what we think is going to be an incredible teen panel. You do not want to miss that this afternoon. So make sure that you're back with us for the teen panel this afternoon. So thank you to Vanessa, to Erica, and to Jenny for all the work that it takes to pull together a virtual conference. As we begin our conference, there are a couple of things that we want to do just by way of housekeeping to make sure that we're all kind of on the same page. One of those things is to remind you that we are recording the sessions. That means that we're recording images and audio. And so if you don't want your image recorded, turn your camera off. That's our best advice for that. We will tell you, though, that as presenters, it's kind of nice to see some faces out there. And so if your bandwidth will allow it and you're comfortable with it, we'd love for you to leave your camera on. But if not, we understand, and we are going to be recording. And so we want to make sure you're aware of that. We are also recording audio. And so it's important for you to make sure that if you don't want your voice recorded, that you don't ask your questions with your microphone, that you use the chat instead. And we also are asking, again, because of the quality of recording, if you are not speaking with the presenter or facilitator, if you're not presenting for everybody, then we ask you to keep your microphone turned off. That helps us to preserve the quality of the recording, and it makes it a better experience for the folks who are here today, but also for the folks who might be watching the recordings later. The recordings will be available for anybody who registered for the conference. So we know that some folks are in a very different. We had someone who said it'll be 5:30 in my time zone, 5:30 a.m. in my time. It's like it's okay.
Mm.
We'll record. It's okay. We welcome folks who are, regardless of your time zone, we're happy to have you, but we also understand that it may be better for you to watch tomorrow. And so we want to be ready for that. So the other thing that we're going to ask you to do is in order to really take advantage of the conference is to just pause to be here and nowhere else but here. Put away the phone. Don't treat this like the TV playing in the background that you're just listening to while you do other things. We know how that works. We won't talk about how we know that, but we know how that works. So just really invest in yourself for these next 2 days. Really give yourself permission to step away from other things and to be here. We'll spend about an hour together this morning, then we'll take a break, and then we'll be together for almost 2 hours this afternoon, doing a workshop, a concurrent session, and then doing a larger general session. And so we invite you to be involved in all of that for today. We will be finished by 3 o'clock Eastern time. And so just to make sure that we're kind of on schedule, we are going to try to stick pretty tightly to our schedule. So presenters, keep that in mind. We're going to do our best to stick tightly to the schedule. We do want to pause this morning, though. We are excited to have with us a representative from USDA NIFA, Dr. Benita Williams, and she is a national program leader at USDA NIFA. And we also have Ijoma Osuji, who is with the Office of the Secretary of War. And they are going to bring greetings on behalf of their organizations, our two national partner organizations. And so, Dr. Williams, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Edwards. And I bring you all greetings from USDA NIFA in the Division of Youth and 4-H and 4-H National Headquarters. I know that is a mouthful. I am Benita Williams, and I'm a national program leader in the Division of Youth and 4-H and have the responsibility for 4-H military programs, along with Dr. Christopher Petty. He is a program specialist in the division, and our division director is Dr. Martha Sotar. We count it an honor to serve as a partner in the 4-H Military Partnership, and our role in the partnership is related to funding. With the Department of War and the military branches, the Air Force, Army, Navy currently. And with this program, the Children, Youth, and Families at Risk Program, or CYFAR for short, NIFA receives funding directly from Congress to fund this particular program. And in partnership, we do support the delivery of the research-based and, might I say, state-of-the-art curricula, the professional development activities, and capacity building training, and valuable technical assistance. And we support the benefits of participation, strengthen skill, stability, and amid change, emotional well-being, military readiness, and professional capacity. We want to say a special thank you to Dr. Harry Edwards and the staff of North Carolina State University and their diligent work with the 4-H Military Partnership and the planning staff for these sessions. Thank you to Diana Ganote with the Office of the Deputy Assistant Secretary of War and their staff for their support of the partnership. Thank you to Dr. Tawanda Street with the Military Community and Family Policy for support of the partnership. And now I'd like to turn it over to Ijoma Osuji.
Good
Hopefully,
morning.
hopefully I didn't
It's
brutalize
okay.
your name. Oh
I
gosh.
got it. Good
Okay.
morning, everyone. My name is Ijoma Osuji, and I have the pleasure of supporting military programs worldwide. And on behalf of the Department of War, Military Community and Family Policy, Office of Child and Youth Programs, it is an honor and absolute privilege to be here with you today as we continue the work to strengthen the vital partnership between the military and 4-H. At its core, this 30 plus year partnership is a strategic necessity. Military life demands incredible adaptability from our service members, but it asks for just as much of their families. Our military connected youth face unique challenges with frequent moves, changing schools, and parent deployments. Through the dedicated 4 H programming, we are actively building the critical infrastructure of resilience, life skills, and a true sense of belonging for these young people, no matter where the military takes them. As a matter of fact, we just recently saw the power of this partnership in action during our Joint Service Team Council, whether from the 4 H Extension specialists facilitating workshops for our teams, offering professional development for our CYP staff, or simply showing up to support our teams during their outbrief at the Pentagon. The hands on support and leadership framework provided by 4 H were instrumental. They gave our youth a meaningful platform to voice their needs, collaborate across branches, and step into true leadership roles. To our exceptional CYP staff and 4-H professionals, thank you. Your daily dedication, passion, and expertise do not go unnoticed. You are the heartbeat of this mission. Your work carries a direct, positive impact on our national security, and I don't say that lightly. Because of each and every one of you, our service members can focus on their mission readiness. They operate with the peace of mind that comes from knowing their children are not just safe, but are actively growing and thriving in high quality programs. Through your mentorship, these young people are building the confidence, character, and leadership skills they need to succeed and lead the next generation. Thank you all for your unwavering commitment to our military families. Now, during these next couple days, I encourage you to use your experience, ask questions, build your network, and just be present. And with that, I hope you have a productive and inspiring event. Welcome. And thank you. Thank you, Harriet. I'm going to turn this back over to you.
Thank you, Jelma. We're thrilled to have the two of you here representing each of the organizations. It's an incredible partnership and has been there for almost 40 years. And so it has been, it is not a new thing. It is something that we have valued for a long time and continue to value. And so we are excited about having some time together these next couple of days to have our extension family in the house with our military family so that we learn from one another. We did want to take just a quick minute before we get into the meat of the conference to talk with you a little bit about the partnership itself. I think one of the things that we kind of take for granted is that folks know what we're talking about when we talk about the military partnership. And so we wanted to take just a couple of minutes to kind of walk through exactly what the partnership is. And so taking a look at it, we are one of the things that we often do when we're in a face-to-face meeting is we begin with this list of things, especially for our extension folks, this list of realities for military families, and have folks take a look at this to see how many of these things actually applied to you as a young person when you think about, and for some of us, this is a long walk into the past to think about when we were younger than 18. But to think about what were the things that were happening in your world and what was your experience up through the age of 18? You know, did you have to stay with friends while your parent was away for work for, for a length of time? Did you have a hard time answering the question, where's home? What's your hometown? For a lot of our military kids, that's a hard question to answer. And for some of us, we've never really thought about why would that be a hard question to answer? If you've never lived outside the state that you currently live in, if you've had a parent who missed an important event or activity. And these are things that our military kids experience pretty routinely. And so as we think about who our military kids are and understanding what they are experiencing, sometimes it's important from our extension side of the house that we make sure that we kind of remind folks this is every day. This is reality for our military connected youth. And so when we think about the military partnership, it really is a collaboration of the military, Department of War, and then the land grant universities, which are connected to USDA, making an intentional decision to integrate research-based programs and resources to help military-connected youth families and communities um, as they thrive in their service. And so, just looking at the actual mission statement, it's military readiness through 4-H positive youth development for families, for youth families and communities at its core, that's the basics of who we are and what we do. And so, with that in mind, thinking about the reality that we are available for active Guard, Reserve, and veteran status military connected families. One of the challenges for having extension and military folks in the house is our military folks are going, well, yeah, and our extension folks may be going, wait a minute, I have Guard folks, but I don't, I'm not near an active duty base, but I have reserve folks maybe. So just thinking about the realities for the differences between being active duty and maybe Guard and Reserve families may not even consider themselves military families. If you ask a child, they may not realize that they're a military family. And so sometimes part of it is just being recognized as a military family. And our enrollment system doesn't necessarily help us with that sometimes. Again, especially with the Guard and Reserve component, because the military kids may not see themselves as military kids because Guard and Reserve are our citizen soldiers. They're living in civilian communities. Oftentimes, with the Reserve, they may live in one state and serve in another state. I know in North Carolina, we had someone who lived in Louisiana but drilled in North Carolina, and so his service was nowhere near his family. And so when he thinks about accessing resources, we're trying to connect him to parishes in Louisiana rather than to counties in North Carolina. So helping our extension and our military partners understand the uniquenesses and the opportunities that are there for us to support one another. And understanding that, especially with our active duty, they're on or near an installation, so they have access to resources and they're just immersed in that culture, and so they live in it every day and are comfortable coming on and off the base. And so part of it is making sure that our extension folks understand kind of the opportunities and some of the limitations that geography may present for some of our Guard and Reserve troops and for our veteran service members as well. Again, it's part of it is just making an effort at understanding one another in the process. We know that we have over 1.5 million military connected young people. We know that military families move routinely every 2 to 3 years. That's not the case for everybody, but that's kind of an average every 2 to 3 years. We know that about half of them may receive orders within 2 months of the time they have to move. So it's a short notice to change their address. And we know that military children change schools 6 to 8 times over the course of their academic career. That's an average. Now, some of them will move fewer times than that, some of them many more times. I worked with a young person at one point who had 17 different schools during his academic career. I can't even imagine. And so, from an extension standpoint, it helps us to kind of remember this whole idea of continuity, the idea that if they see that emblem, no matter where they are, that there is something familiar, that's something that feels good and positive and like home, and they're able to continue to work maybe on some projects that they started wherever they lived last. We know that about half of the young people in military connected situations don't feel like they fit into a civilian community. They have a hard time fitting in. We know that from a historical perspective, just to take a minute and think about, we've said it's been a 40-year relationship. In the 1980s, the primary work that the extension folks did with the military folks was in identifying research-based curriculum and providing curriculum for use in child and youth programs. Then in the early to mid 90s, the Army created a more formal relationship with USDA, recognizing the value of the research-based curriculum and the need for youth specialists who had an understanding of 4-H and could help connect the Army CYS programs with the 4-H opportunities and curriculum. And so that moved very quickly into as we got into post 9/11 and the global war on terror and Desert Storm and that time frame, Operation Military Kids, OMK, Operation Military Kids, was a project that was developed specifically to help young people in that time of extended deployment and just really high level of intense deployment, so that there was an opportunity for us to really support young people in stress management and in kind of resilience and life skill development. And so OMK came into being, and Air Force then joined in with the Army to add youth development specialists to the Air Force cadre of child and youth programs. The Navy joined in 2007, and so we have Army, Air Force, and Navy have a requirement that there are 4-H clubs on active duty bases and installations globally. So if a young person is in Texas and they end up going to Spain or Germany or England, there is a 4-H club there for them. Hopefully they get to continue their projects and continue the work that they've been doing in 4-H. And so that's one of the pieces that we value, is that ability to continue and complete project work in 4-H, regardless of location. So at the national level with USDA and Department of War, we have agreements between those two agencies at the federal level that creates an opportunity for us to share funding and do the things that we need to do to support the programming with funds. We have the service specialists in addition to our USDA NIFA specialists who help us to make sure that the work that we're doing supports our military connected youth. We also have a military working group that is a group of the service specialists as well as our some of our state military liaisons, and these folks work with us to help plan events like this. We did talk with our military working group early on, and you're going to see many of them either presenting workshops or assisting as hosts at a workshop. And so they're a very active group of folks from the state level who are working with military audiences and are stepping up to the next level. Every state, regardless of whether they receive funding, every state has a state 4-H military liaison, and that person helps to make sure that we are connecting the military working group and make sure that the services are connected with information. And so it is each state 4-H program leader appoints someone in their state to serve in this military liaison position. We would be remiss if we didn't remind folks that there is research that tells us that 4-Hers are 4 times more likely to give back to their community, that they're twice as likely to make healthier choices, they're twice as likely to participate in STEM activities during out of school time. And this is just a tiny smattering of some of the larger research that makes us proud to say that 4-H is an asset to a positive youth development program, and we're excited to bring that as a partner for our military connected families. Just a few of the programs we offer: our Military Partnership Professional Development Technical Assistance Grant, and that's funding our opportunity for these next couple of days. Project Yes has been funded through the National Military Partnership. The Military Teen Adventure Camp. We also have 4-H Military Partnership outreach and support funded projects that are funded as funds come through the services specifically for those particular projects. Our 4-H Military Extension Education Specialist is actually a part of a project that is a partnership again with Department of War and USDA, and of course our virtual lab school. And this is again just a smattering. There are lots of other opportunities that we have through Extension to support our military connected families. And so we wanted to just mention those in brief. We do have a website that has this and much more information. And so we invite you to visit the website. That's also where you'll find lots of recordings from our Third Thursday and other training events and opportunities. And so we invite you to take a look at that and to be a frequent visitor to the website. It is updated routinely, and information continues to be added there. And we appreciate Erica kind of leading the charge on making sure that we're on top of things there. So I'm